Welcome. Today we are going to be discussing a new executive order that President Trump signed into order last week on April 3rd. This is going to change quite a bit. Almost most of the loopholes that I would talk about, he's trying to plug through the federal government. So we're going to go through this article so you understand what's up to date, what's not up to date, and how this is going to affect sports going forward. Now, on Friday, April 3rd, President Trump issued an executive order labeled as an urgent national action to save college sports. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I am going to get to the gist of it. So, such as federal, the order, which takes effect on August 1st, calls for various actors such as federal agencies, NCAA, and the United States Congress to take actions that will impact universities, affiliate NIL collectives, and student athletes. The order includes the following directives. This essentially is exactly what the executive order had when he signed, which is why I'm talking about this. And there's another article we're going to talk about that's going to talk about the true penalties that a lot of these universities are going to face. And then I'm going to talk about my thoughts on how this is going to affect not just the athletes, but the universities. Number one, Congress is strongly encouraged to expeditiously pass legislation that addresses the issues facing college sports. This is dangerous because what this is going to allow them to do is essentially have a blank check. And when I say blank check, is they can write whatever they want. It's way too broad. They can essentially say, well, we identified this is a problem. We identified that these athletes are making too much money. We need to control them. And now we may pass legislation to do so. So this is actually a very dangerous, but this is how federal governments work. So it is what it is. You just got to understand and know how to navigate it. The NCAA is urged to update its rules before August 1st, 2026 to 1. Adequately protect opportunities for scholarships and collegiate athletes competition in women's and Olympic sports. 2. Limit athletes to a 5-year eligibility window. That's going to be a big thing. I talked about this in one of my other videos, how someone was trying to get a 6th year. Yeah, they're about to close that loophole. 3. Permit only a single transfer unless the athlete obtains a 4-year degree. So unless you have a 4-year degree, you can't transfer. So now all these transfer portal stuff is about to disappear as well. And 4, prohibit professional athletes from returning to college sports. And especially in the NBA, I have watched a number of athletes who are rookies who come back to college because they have eligibility and then they earn a lot of money. Because there's more money in the NIL compared to rookie contracts in the NBA, especially in the G League. So people are taking that opportunity. This is essentially most of like a lot of things that are happening. They're trying, like I said, they're trying. I'm not going to deny that's a good thing. I actually am all for this personally, just because you don't need to treat this like professional sports. You are professional, don't get it twisted, but there is another and better way for you to earn your money through your likeness than to keep transferring and moving teams like you're a pro. You don't need that. It's real, like you'll get that if you play pro, but you don't need to be doing that in college. It's already disrupting a lot in college sports right now. All right, and then the Attorney General is required to take measures to invalidate state laws that conflict with NCAA rules and violate federal law. This essentially is to invalidate state laws. The state laws technically are supposed to precede federal laws in general, because the federal government outside the executive branch shouldn't have that much power to control what states do. But right now, Congress and the NCAA are partnering and say, hey, if any of these states try to make a gray area or a loophole, we can shut that down. So that's essentially what the executive order itself is. And here's another article I want to bring up, which is NCAA's closing of transfer portals, because that's essentially what's happening, is going to hit schools and coaches. And this is actually something I'm glad to see, actually. Because now, if these schools want you to keep doing this, they're going to pay really heavy penalties. And I think that's how it should be if they want to keep doing this. So we're not going to look at the takeaways, but on April 1st, well, it's not April 1st, it was April 3rd, but whatever. April 1st, 2026, the NCAA Division I cabinet approved automatic penalties for ghost transfers, which are any program that signs a transfer student athlete, adds them to a roster, or permits them to participate in athletic related activities before entering the NCAA transfer portal. The penalties apply to all Division I sports. The one is a suspension of the applicable head coach for 50% of the season. That is going to hurt. Prohibiting all coaching, recruiting, and administrative duties during the suspension period. This could be a danger for most coaches, so they're really going to have their head on a swivel when it comes to this. A fine equal to 20% of the sports budget will be imposed on the institution. The fine applies regardless of whether the applicable head coach remains employed. Now, this is how they're going to get crushed when it comes to the schools who want to try to do transfer portals. Now, don't get me wrong, there is gray area, because this isn't the actual transfer portal. This is more of a gray area of, as they said, ghost transfer, as in you're allowing them to play without entering the transfer portal itself. So it's more of, well, they're sneaking them to have them play athletic activities. So there isn't the actual transfer portal, but this is a step in that direction and is making the penalties hard. Now, the NCAA is, like I said, is like a mafia. So they're going to try to crack the whip and make sure everyone stays in line so they can have control over the entire situation. Because it's gotten out of hand. The NCAA just doesn't have the control to be able to hold everything together. So these approved penalties are slightly modified from emergency legislation proposed with the NCAA Division I. The adopted penalties modify the head coach suspension to a percentage of a season rather than a specific number of games. The modification allows a penalty to easily scale across sports. So this will go for all sports. The cabinet declined to impose any proposed roster penalties. So the quickness of adopting these penalties stems from concerns over changing transfer rules and all allegations of tampering. According to Vanderbilt football head coach, these penalties provide immediate accountability and are a necessary step to address a critical roster management issue facing our sport and to protect the integrity of football transfer windows. This, now, I like the penalties, and like I said, it's taking steps toward this, but this is a power grab. In my opinion, this is a power grab. I guarantee he's doing the same thing. I guarantee he is. He's just, someone else is doing it better, and now they want to try to play, like, this is that power grab of they're all fighting for, well, you doing this and you're doing this better than me, so now you need to have rules so you can stop that. Like, that's what's really going on, but I'm bringing this up because this right here could legitimately be the basis of what happens when it comes to the transfer portal as well. You can see them implement stuff like this because normally the coaches are the ones who get paid all the money. They used to monopolize all of it. Now you lose half your season, like that can hurt. And this 20% of the sports budget, especially for football, that's gonna be dangerous. So what does all this mean? Let me move this over real quick. Oh, let me move that over. What does all this mean? It basically means that the federal government is starting to make moves into trying to put a lid on the volcano that is the NIL. The NIL is now getting so massive, so it's out of their control, which is why they're so worried about it. I'm looking at some other stuff. So we'll throw this in there right now too for it. Let's do this. All right. We got one more article. In a significant move aimed at reshaping the landscape of college athletics, of course, Trump signed an executive order essentially restricting limitations on the duration athletes can participate in college sports and conditions under which they can transfer between institutions. I'm not going to go on into all this. You guys, I already talked about this. Just another guy saying the same thing. Schools that fail to adhere to these new guidelines may face the risk of losing federal funding, a provision intended to encourage compliance from educational institutions. Moreover, the order instructs the NCAA to establish a national registry for player agents and implement measures designed to protect scholarships and opportunities for women's and Olympic sports, ensuring that financial resources are not unfairly diverted in favor of male athletes. Now, that is necessarily true when it comes to the institution of male sports, but in my opinion, I actually think women are getting more NIL deals individually than men are, because women have the beauty side to them. They are much easily marketable by brands. They're much easily able to quote unquote model. And this is where Angel Reese comes in, because essentially all she does now. But I'm sure people are catching, not saying that they don't have their sport, but it's an extra boon for them for the fact that they are in general pretty. If they're pretty and they're quote unquote models and their sports, they're much easily marketable than the equivalent male. A male can be dominant, but if he's not truly dominant, he's not going to get the NIL deal. The top tier of the males will get them, but the middle of the pack, they're not going to get them. But I can almost guarantee the middle pack of women's sports will be able to get it, just because they have some other things going for them when it comes to marketing. Women are always dominant in marketing. It's always been that way. So technically, as an institution, when it comes to male sports and female sports, yes, there's more money in male sports. But individually, when it comes to women, women are going to essentially, in my opinion, get more NIL deals than the men will, just because the fact that they are much easily marketable than men are. Just is what it is, unless you are a high prolific male. But how many high prolific males do people actually know? Most people don't. So that is something, even though I'm not big on that DEI stuff, but this is, I mean, I guess you can say that, but the money is going to be the money. At the end of the day, that's what's just going to happen. In a statement regarding the order, the White House emphasized the necessity for clear and uniform rules governing pay-for-play scenarios and athletic eligibility, which have been subject to extensive legal challenges in recent years. However, legal experts suggest that the executive order may face significant hurdles if challenged in court, with some predicting that it could ultimately be deemed unconstitutional and unenforceable. That actually is true. This right here, this entire thing is going to be what the states and lawyers for these NIL marketing agencies are going to use to essentially keep things going the way they are. So there is going to be more litigation. As I've said in my previous videos, there will be more litigation and more things coming down the line in hopes that they can keep the status quo where it is. Now, that is basically the entire thing. I'm not going to go through this entire article because they're just going to rehash stuff, and I'm not about all that. But when it comes to us and what we can do to use this as athletes, this, because that's what I represent. I represent the athletes here. So we have to understand that these elites are looking to control and regulate you. That is essentially what I spent the past 13 minutes talking about. Is some things good that are going to come from this? Yeah, I do think some good is going to come from this. There does need to be some resemblance of structure, but ultimately the athletes are the ones who provide the value, not the coaches, not the marketing agencies, not the agents. No one else provides the value except the athletes. People aren't paying tickets and buying jerseys to watch an agent play. They're buying tickets and buying jerseys to watch the players play, or should I say compete in whatever sport they're playing in. That's what they're paying for. They are paying for all those eyes that are watching you. Brands want their brand on your jersey. This is exactly what happens in Europe and overseas. There are sponsors everywhere on your jersey. I mean, I probably still have my old jersey around here somewhere. I can probably show it, but There's brands everywhere because that's how they get eyes on you. So how can we take this and use it to our advantage? Simple. We need to, once again, take control of your brand. Keep doing what you need to do on the court or off the on your sport. I say on the court because that's what it's called, be on the court. Do what you got to do on the court. But off the court, make sure you aren't doing stupid things on social media, because that is a big thing for people right now. Social media is your walking resume. That's what social media represents. It's a walking resume. When they look up your name, what do they see? They should see you doing what you do in your sport, and hopefully testament, or I say testament, but biography of you and what you want to present to the world. As in, what I'm doing on this YouTube channel. When people look up my name, I'm hoping this comes up. I'm hoping my videos come up. That's what you need. Find something you're passionate about, find something that you believe in, and then put it out. Not gonna say put it out on social media so people know what you are about. These marketing agencies know what they're getting when they come approach you, so they can see you as a marketable brand. Now, you can make your own brand. I mean, you don't need the marketing agencies, but you want to be able to market yourself rather than going to an agency to do so. Now, once you understand the basics, that's when you can hire a marketing agency, because now you already know what you need to do. As I always say, you can smell the bullshit when they want to tell you bullshit. When they want to only benefit them, you can say, oh, I already done this already. I don't want that. This is what I want you to do. And you're either going to take this or I leave. That is how we need to do this. All this executive orders and stuff, in my opinion, most of you guys shouldn't be transferring anyway. All you guys, this is like, no. Stick to one place, build your foundation, and build a brand. And create what I always call a digital storefront. When people look up your name, what do they see? What products do you sell? What services do you provide? That's what you need. Create whatever you need to create. Doesn't matter what it is, but make sure you control your brand and your voice, not them. That is how you become more valuable. That is how you obtain leverage over these companies. Because once again, when you're playing on your sport, when you're in college, they're coming to see you and your team. You're not coming to see them. You bring in the value that way. So that is how we take all this and move on from it. All this stuff is what these colleges and these elites and all these other people, as I use a lot of analogies, but like I consider them like cruise liners. We are on speedboats. When those cruise liners move, waves start pushing up, but they can't move quickly. We can move as often and as fast as you want. That's what's so good about small businesses. They're more flexible. We are the most flexible because we are one individual and we have all the leverage. You just have to understand your place in that pecking order and know how to leverage your own value. So when they come to you, you have a very thorough understanding of how not only you value yourself, but what you can obtain from them because they value you as well. And when they value you, then you have the leverage. Now you can come in and say, this is what I want. And you're either going to give it to me or I'll go somewhere else. That's how these athletes need to do. Now, even though I'm saying that, I've had a number of videos talking about how the mistakes people are making. You cannot give Donald Trump and Congress and these people who want to legislate you ammo because you are being too ignorant, lack of responsibility. You can't give them those opportunities to take advantage of you. Because just like the executive order said, and I just talked about earlier how they have a blank check, the moment they see a problem, they're going to legislate it away. Now, granted, they got to fight this in court, which is where the money comes in. And that's where all these lawyers and marketing agencies are going to throw all their money so they can make sure they're in the winning side. But we must understand that that's the battle they're fighting. They're fighting over you. They're fighting over you, the value you provide. So we have to step it up. And I'm saying this to all athletes. We have to hold ourselves to a much higher standard. Forget the universities, forget the agents, the marketing. You need to hold yourself to a high standard, especially if you are in college and you're playing D1, D2 and scholarship. You understand discipline because you've been doing it for who knows how long already, which has got you there. Now you need to inherit that discipline into your off-the-court activities as well. Have your fun, but understand the risk of if it gets out, how it will look to your brand and your image. Because the better your image is, the more valuable you're going to be. And that's all I'm going to say.